Hello Internet and welcome to another video on scripting things in Maya Python. Now I wanted to take a little break from my Mars program here because everyone knows here that I've been working on this for quite a while and I just needed a break, needed to work on something else. Although I will say there is going to be an update in the next few days. Essentially, though, what I wanted to do is make a different script, and as you can probably see from the title of this video, I wanted to make one that generates cities. I've been looking at things for my demo reel, and I noticed a couple people making very nice little scripts for city generation, and I kind of wanted to make my own, so I gave birth to this. This is the Arc City Generator, and essentially, you can create bases and set the number of divisions that you want. The nice thing is that whenever it creates a base, it always brings it up to this little corner here. So I can create a couple more. And what I can do, boop, and boop, and boop. I can move those over, and I can hold V and snap them together. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these. I'm going to change my height. Essentially what it's going to do is it's going to randomize and create buildings based off the minimum height here, which is 0.25, and the maximum height, which is 10. But I can make these higher. I can make this 15, and I can make this 1. And what I'm going to do is select all these geometry pieces here, and then I'm just going to hit Create Buildings. And you'll see what happens. So essentially what it's going to do is it's going to come through, and right off the bat, it creates streets, it creates sidewalks, and you'll see it in just a second here on the other side. But then it goes through a second pass where it randomizes the extrusion, and then it goes through a third pass where it randomizes the roofs. And the roofs are vary between plain, roofed, inset, and slanted. And there you go. There's the streets there. Now, I will show you once this finishes up, but essentially, well, actually, maybe I can just scoot over here for a second. Essentially, what it's doing is it's creating the sidewalks and the streets here, and you can see a little bit of an extrusion there. Now, that might be a little too silly of a detail, but hey, I think it's kind of cool. Now, I kind of envision this for things like panoramic shots, helicopter shots, shots far away, you know, where you're not going to see the geometry too close, but you still want to see, like, some detail and some randomness in, you know, the city below. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of make something like this very quick, just something very simple that you don't really need to think about too much. And I'm sure you guys can guess, like, it would be very, very tedious to constantly just be randomizing these and changing them up and adding the same sets of features to each one. I thought that was a little too much, so that's why I made the script. Now, this is going to be done in just a minute, and once it's done, I'll show you what you can do with a city block. And by the way, you don't have to necessarily select my objects that you create here. It's not reliant on naming convention like the Mars program. So here's our city here, and you can see that the history deletes itself once it's done, and it hardens the edges when it extrudes. Everything looks pretty nice, and you know, this would be good, like I said, for panoramic views, or heck, maybe if you're just maybe if you want to draw something super quick and you don't necessarily want to draw all the lines on a piece of paper for perspective, there's a good little tool here for making your city just like that. Let's make another. So I'm going to create, I'm going to make maybe something with a little lower subdivision there. I'll move this out by 25, boop. And I'm going to make the base height 25, and I'm going to make the minimum height 5. Why not? But what I wanted to do, very, very quick, and let's see if I can get this. There we go. If I use multi-cut here, it doesn't necessarily have to be completely squared off. So essentially, I can grab these pieces, bye-bye, bye-bye, and bye-bye. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that little tiny one is gone too. Boop, bye-bye. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete its history. And then I'm going to hit create buildings. Boop. And as you can see, it doesn't necessarily need to rely on being completely squared off either. And you can create customized shapes. Okay, so I can keep doing this if I wanted to. I can keep making larger sections like this, maybe make a futuristic looking city. And I can keep making interesting cuts if I wanted to. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for geometry already. Like, if any of my students did this, I would probably kill them. No, I'm kidding. But it wouldn't be nice. I don't like doing this to geometry and making it, making essentially these n-gons here. I don't like it. But hey, for the sake of this demonstration, it does its job. Let's make this a little higher, maybe 35 and 10. Boop. And there you have it. And of course, you can always merge these together by using the combine tool. So then I can delete its history, and then I can grab vertexes, and if I hit shift right click, I'm gonna hit merge vertices and essentially make this very, very, very low. Something like that, perhaps. Essentially, they would have to be right on top of each other in order to be merged. So if I did my job correctly, there we go. So it's one object and it's all completely unified. And there you have it. So that's my quick city generation tool, and that's about it. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to make your own version of this script, and as always, if you have any comments or critiques or things you'd like me to possibly add to this script, please, by all means, I would love to know your ideas. That's about it. I'm Cody Wilcoxon signing off, and guys, stay tuned because in the next few days, there's going to be an update for this. There's been a lot of new functions, and I can't wait to show them to you. But you'll have to wait a little longer, so stay tuned.